Have aneurysm in the back of your brain that's pretty large, and to get your blood pressure down so they can perform this surgery. So be strong.
Storage Wars thrived on big personalities, but not every one of them lived long enough to enjoy the spotlight. Behind the on-screen drama and interesting bids were real lives marked by personal struggles and heartbreaking losses that never made it to television. Some of the members who helped shape the series are no longer with us. What was the tragic experience of these Storage Wars members? And what untold stories went on behind the scenes? Join us as we reveal the Storage Wars members who tragically passed away. Mark Ballelo. Mark Ballelo, known not just for his bidding strategy, but also his personality, rose to fame in the second season of Storage Wars. He was very popular and one of the most talked about figures on Storage Wars. Mark was always seen by the viewers pulling up to auctions in flashy sports cars, dressed in expensive suits, and bidding with high intensity. Usually, he showed unique abilities and ran over units that every other member would pass over. Fans named him Rico Suave due to his smooth and warm interactions during the bidding. However, life is not always fair. Behind the scenes, Mark was dealing with personal battles that led to tragedy and eventually led to his death. Mark Ballelo tragically died on February 11, 2013, at the age of 40. His death was ruled a self-harm through carbon monoxide poisoning after he was found dead in his car at his business location in Simi Valley, California. This happened just a short time after being arrested on suspicion of methamphetamine possession. Before Storage Wars began, in 2007, Mark was arrested for 3 felony charges, later pleading guilty to 1 and serving 60 days in 2009. In 2011, he spent another 45 days for violating probation. After he was released, he met with his ex-fiancée, Elizabeth Matidis, and told her how much the arrest had affected him. He claimed that he could no longer function efficiently as he did in his early days. And only 2 days after the last arrest, Mark died. The news of Mark's death came as a shock to many of his fans and raised more awareness about mental health issues. His death became one of the saddest moments connected to Storage Wars. While he lived a happy life, it was cut tragically short. Moving on to the next member, who also lived a happy life but met with his own tragedy. Who was it? Gunter Nazoda. Gunter Nazoda, who debuted during the show's 4th season, stood out as a competitive bidder with an easygoing personality. His son, Rene, recalled that his father was one of the guys on Storage Wars who never really got any hate. People just loved being around him. Off camera, Gunter was a fun and active man. He worked as a photographer, played bass with well-known rock musicians, and even appeared in a few films. However, he could not handle the activities anymore as his active life was disrupted in late 2022 after he received a heartbreaking diagnosis. His son shared the updates through a video revealing that Gunter had smoked for 30 years and doctors found holes in his lungs, making treatment difficult. Despite the diagnosis, he stayed at home with family, hoping for more time. He continued his daily activities, although without a hectic job. Sadly, the cancer worsened, and in March 2023, at age 67, he passed away peacefully in his sleep. The lung cancer killed him in the end. With the unexpected twist that led to the end of these familiar and popular faces, there are stories behind many other members' deaths. Daryl Sheets. Daryl Sheets, widely known as the Gambler, became one of the fans' favorites on the show with his fearless approach to high-stakes lockers. He built a reputation as someone who never shied away from risk. His confidence and experience in the auction world earned him both wins and heated rivalries, making him an OG on the show. However, Daryl had his own personal struggles. His life was not without challenges. In 2019, Daryl suffered a heart attack. This tragedy was a huge blow to him and his career. The health scare forced him into surgery, and he later shared with fans that doctors had placed stents in his arteries. In recent years, Daryl Sheets has stepped back from the show but remains involved in auctions on a smaller scale. He spends more time focusing on his health and family, while fans continue to remember him as the gambler who made history on Storage Wars. Daryl's resilience from the start shaped the series and even helped him after his health issue. Yet more highs and lows in the life of the cast went on behind the auction floor. Brandy Pasante. Storage Wars might have made Brandy Pasante a star, but she's learned the hard way that fame doesn't fix all your problems, and that sometimes it can even make them worse. Brandy Pasante is famous in her own way after having spent 15 seasons on Storage Wars. She first arrived on the A&E reality series as part of a duo. She also starred on the show with her business partner and longtime companion, Jared Schultz, with whom she had 2 children. But things didn't stay so rosy for long. Brandy's split from Jared came to light during the season 13 premiere of Storage Wars, which aired in April 2021. The episode depicted her and her estranged partner jockeying to bid on multiple storage lockers in fierce competition. Sadly, Brandy's children, Peyton and Cameron, both experienced significant childhood illnesses and health problems early in life. Peyton underwent surgery for the first time at just 6 years old. The corrective surgery was effective, and while she acquired the ability to hear, she still required further treatment. In addition to her hearing issues, Pasante's daughter was born with a misdeveloped cleft palate, which affected the soft palate at the back of her mouth. Cameron Schultz, meanwhile, regularly sees a doctor for a urological disorder due to a mass discovered growing on one of his kidneys. As if that was not enough, Brandy Pasante herself suffered a distinctively raspy voice issue. In 2022, a Pasante fan asked why she talked the way she did. Pasante claimed it was an autoimmune disorder characterized by the immune system assaulting the thyroid, an organ that produces the hormones that regulate metabolism. While there is no cure for Hashimoto's disease, Pasante receives treatment for the condition. It can cause a host of symptoms and manifests in Pasante by affecting her voice. Life for Brandy, as someone who has had to deal with several health challenges, was not easy. While she experienced her personal highs and lows, another member had his own issue to deal with. Weiss.
Fucking big disaster here, guys. I'm just in Los Feliz with my friend Barry, and we've just had a serious accident.
Weiss became one of the most popular faces on Storage Wars shortly after his debut. Fans loved his humor, his taste for the unusual, and the way he treated auctions more like adventures than business. His personality stood out so much that in 2014, he was given his own spin-off series, where he traveled the country chasing rare finds. Before his television fame, Barry built his wealth in the produce business, running a successful wholesale company for many years. This financial independence allowed him to approach storage auctions differently. His partnership with Kenny Crossley added to his appeal, with the duo delivering many of the most memorable and humorous moments in the series. After years on television, Barry took a back seat from the show. However, in 2019, he experienced a tragic incident that almost claimed his life. That year, Barry and his friend Jaime went for a ride in the neighborhood. As they traveled down the road, a car pulled out of a parking space, and the two men collided with it. According to the Instagram post shared by his friend, Barry suffered serious chest trauma, severe leg injuries, and multiple fractures. Emergency responders rushed him to the hospital, where he was placed in the ICU. His recovery was slow, but Barry pushed through. After his recovery, in 2017, he left Storage Wars because he felt had enough and kind of wanted to leave while it was still popular. However, in 2021, he returned to Storage Wars, welcomed by both the cast and the viewers who had missed his presence. Barry's legacy on television remained one of the most iconic moments in the minds of audiences. Another man has a moment as such on the screen. Let's find out who. Jared Schultz. Jared Schultz, commonly known as the reality star on Storage Wars, first appeared on the show alongside his partner, Brandy Pasante. Together, they were known as the Young Guns, a duo that brought a different energy to the bidding floor. However, in 2018, tragedy struck when he and Brandy ended their long relationship. The separation was difficult for fans to watch, as their bond had been such a key part of the show. Then, in 2021, Jared was arrested after an alleged incident involving Brandy. The news cast a shadow over his image, and it marked one of the lowest points of his time connected to the series. Legal proceedings put both their personal and professional relationship under strain, drawing public attention to the difficulties of managing business, romance, and the pressures of reality television simultaneously. Despite these troubles, Jared remains tied to the storage business. He continues to run his bar and restaurant, choosing a quieter life compared to his early days on Storage Wars. Another personality on this show had an unpleasant experience behind the cameras. Dan Dodson. Dan Dodson was one of the most recognizable actors in Storage Wars. He has been one of the driving forces behind Storage Wars since the very beginning. As the show's fast-talking auctioneer, his voice was a major driver of the show. Known for his quick rhythm, Dan brought real-life energy to every auction, setting the pace for the intense bidding battles that made the show so exciting to watch. Before television, Dan had spent decades in the auction business. However, off-screen, Dan has faced his share of challenges, and although he began auctioneering at a young age and later built his company, American Auctioneers, which he still runs with his wife, he experienced a tragic incident. In 2014, he suffered a double brain aneurysm that nearly cost him his life. After a tough recovery, he returned to work with the same drive and determination that made him a fan favorite. As of 2025, Dan continues to auction across the country, respected as one of the most skilled professionals in his field. Together, he and his wife turned their passion for auctions into a full-time career and became a trusted name in the business. Dan's professional lifestyle was one that earned him a place even after he experienced a tragic incident. Who is next among the members? Ricky Smith. Ricky Smith was one of the most familiar faces on Storage Wars, Texas. The show aired on A&E from 2011 to 2014 and followed buyers bidding on abandoned storage units across Texas. Ricky was almost always seen with his nephew, Bubba Smith. Together, they were known as the Rangers, a strong and dependable team. While other bidders relied on big personalities or trash talk, Ricky and Bubba focused on teamwork. Ricky was deeply respected in the storage auction world. He was always looking calm, but behind the scenes, his health was becoming a serious concern. Ricky suffered from heart-related problems that led to several medical scares over the years. People close to the show recalled days when he looked exhausted or unwell at auctions. Even then, he rarely stayed away. He showed up, bid carefully, and relied on Bubba when things became too physically demanding. Doctors reportedly advised him to slow down, but stepping back was not easy. Ricky was strongly tied to his work. Storage auctions were not just a business to him, they were part of his identity. During tougher periods, Bubba took on more responsibility, lifting heavy items and handling stressful moments. Their partnership showed that their bond went far beyond television. It was family first. Ricky's health struggles highlighted how demanding the storage auction world can be. Long hours, travel, stress, and physical labor. Yet, Ricky stayed committed for as long as he could. Fans also admired his determination and the loyalty between him and Bubba. While Ricky's heart gave him trouble and affected his life, another member had his share of challenges. Dave Hester. Dave Hester, one of the most controversial bidders on Storage Wars, is known for his aggressive bidding style and sharp eye for valuable items. He often clashed with other buyers, creating some of the most dramatic moments on the show. He was nicknamed the Mogul, and he was one of the most popular cast members on the show. However, in 2018, Dave faced a major setback that affected him so badly. He suffered a hemorrhagic stroke, and the health scare was life-threatening, so he woke up struggling to breathe. This forced him to step away from the auction scene while he recovered. Fans who had watched him dominate the bidding floor were shocked by the news. His recovery process was long, and he had to work hard and undergo several stages of treatment to regain strength. As of 2025, Dave Hester has kept a lower profile. He still takes part in auctions, but no longer seeks the spotlight the way he once did. While the auction scenes of Hester continue to linger on in the fans' memory, another member who had a health scare is Rick Coughel. Rick Coughel. Rick Coughel brought grit and determination to Storage Wars in Canada. He was not the loudest bidder in the room, but he was respected for his sharp eye and willingness to gamble on risky lockers. He and Cindy Hayden were known as the veterans of the series. Behind the scenes, Rick faced an enemy that never gave him a break: diabetes. The illness forced him to balance his passion with constant and vigilant management. Managing it was not easy, especially during long auction days that involved travel, stress, and irregular meals. Crew members often saw him push through fatigue during long auction days. Some said he showed up pale and trembling, yet still outbid competitors. Rick rarely spoke publicly about his health, but whispers circled that the disease led to frightening close calls. Even so, he stayed in the game. His resilience became part of his legend. Fans remember the man who wouldn't back down even when his own body tried to. And just as Rick fought in silence, another cast member found himself in a very different kind of struggle. Ivy Calvin. Ivy Calvin, famously known to fans as the King of Palmdale, quickly became one of the most formidable buyers on Storage Wars. His no-nonsense attitude and commanding presence made him a standout in every auction he attended. Viewers admired his confidence and the way he approached each locker with a clear sense of purpose. Before his television career, Ivy ran his own thrift store, Grandma's Attic, where he showcased and sold many of the treasures he discovered in storage units. This background gave him valuable experience in spotting items with potential and understanding their resale value. Coupled with his bold bidding style, it helped Ivy earn a reputation as a tough competitor who rarely hesitated when he saw something worth pursuing. Although Ivy had a lot of competitors, he knew exactly what he wanted and rarely backed down, even when facing other aggressive bidders. In addition to these professional challenges, Ivy faced personal ones as well. Over the years, he battled health issues that sometimes slowed him down, but he continued to push forward, showing resilience and dedication to both his store and the auction business. On the auction floor, Ivy's direct approach often led to impressive wins, and his strategic eye and confidence set him apart, earning respect from fellow cast members and fans alike. Now, here's the last member on this list, who faced her own share of personal challenges. Her story is one you won't forget easily. Laura Dodson. Laura Dodson was known to fans of Storage Wars as the calm force behind the auctioneer's stand. Alongside her husband, Dan Dodson, she helped run fast-paced storage auctions across California. While Dan brought energy and rapid-fire calls, Laura balanced him with poise and control. Her clear voice, sharp timing, and steady presence kept auctions moving smoothly, even when bidders grew loud or aggressive. In 2018, however, Laura became the focus of concern instead of the auction floor. she suddenly began experiencing alarming symptoms, including slurred speech, dizziness, and confusion. These are classic warning signs of a transient ischemic attack, often called a mini-stroke. Dan rushed her to the hospital immediately, fearing the worst. Doctors later confirmed that she had suffered a minor stroke. For Laura, the experience was frightening. Her career depended on her voice, which was her confidence. The idea of losing the ability was devastating. Thankfully, because she received quick medical care, the stroke did not cause lasting damage. With treatment and rest, Laura made a strong recovery and was able to return to work. The scare deeply affected both Laura and Dan. Just a few years earlier, in 2014, Dan had survived a life-threatening brain aneurysm that nearly killed him. Laura's stroke was another life's blow on their face. After her recovery, fans noticed several changes in the couple. And although the auctions continued, things could have turned out very differently. Laura's recovery was a moment of relief for fans who had come to admire her professionalism and strength. Which of these tragic stories struck you the most? Do you think some of these losses could have been prevented with closer attention to health and lifestyle choices? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.